Hi, everyone. Hello. How are we? Oh, so good to be back. It has been amazing. The weather here in Sydney is amazing as well, and I feel amazing today. So I'm really grateful to be back. It has been an interesting journey with lockdown here in Sydney, and also an interesting journey with health and some other things that were happening around. So I haven't really been around much. But you know what? Whatever happens, we always come out stronger and better in the end. So here we are. And it is so great to be with you all again. And it is an exciting time ahead of us. Now, as we all know, perhaps, or you may not even know, which is what I want to bring to your awareness if you're not aware yet. Today is Are You OK Day, which is, I believe, internationally a day where we consciously check in on our friends, our loved ones, the people that we know in our networks, to actually see whether they are okay. And I actually posted something this morning on my personal page as well around that. It is always really fantastic to have these national days, these international days, to raise more awareness around causes and, things that are happening that we want to be more conscious of. Now, with Are You OK Day, I believe that is not something that we focus on just once a year. I believe Are You OK Day needs to happen every day. And to actually just check in, with our loved ones, with our friends, people that you're actually interacting with, to check in with them and say, hey, are you okay? What is going on? I've got two beautiful ears that can listen really well. So it's really amazing to do that on an everyday basis. Sorry, I'm just checking here as well, because sometimes the comments don't come through as well as they should. So. Hello, stranger. Are you okay? Yes, I am okay. Today, I am okay. So thank you so much for asking. I can't see your name. So it says here, Facebook user. If you have not joined the lives before, I am using a system called StreamYard, and unfortunately, Facebook does not show the names. So there is a link at the top above the video that you can click to just give Facebook approval for StreamYard to also see your name in the comments. That makes it a bit easier. Hi, Vicky. Lovely to have you. It's been such a long time, hasn't it? Yes. How are you? Are you okay? And like I said, two ears, beautiful ears, they're here. I can listen really well. So Are You OK Day, and in particular now what's been happening, and certainly here in Australia, where we are forced to be at home more than what we desire, and we have limited abilities to go out further than a certain distance. Some of us even have curfew applied to us by the government. That can certainly cause, anxiety, stress, depression, loneliness, all these things. And it is really important for us to focus on each other and to be there for each other. And just asking that question, are you okay, can be an enormous help for the person that you have in front of you. And it doesn't have to be just a friend or a loved one. It can be someone from your community. It can be, maybe you've got a meeting scheduled today, and just take those 2 minutes, to just have that conversation with each other. Are you okay? What's going on? What would you like to share? Is there anything that you want to talk about that you may not able to talk about with other people? Offer them that help, offer them that ear that you have to just listen. And often that's all that we are asked to do, is to listen. We don't always have to give advice or guidance. Someone just wants to let things out and talk. And that can be an enormous help already. Great to hear, Vicky. That's awesome. Awesome. And you also live in a beautiful part of the world, so I'm sure that definitely helps staying okay. And today I just wanted to share a few things around what we can do, first of all, to help, but also what we can do for ourselves if we may not have that help available. And the question, "Are you okay?" Is it's such an easy, simple question, but it has a lot of weighting to it, doesn't it? It has certainly got that behind it where we truly want to know how that person is doing. And I think I shared this morning on my personal page that in Australia, it's very common to start a conversation. "Hey, how are you? How are you going?" And often it's like, "Yeah, fine, yourself?" And it's sort of like an introduction into the conversation before we start. It's actually a habit that we have. I don't know if that's, in other countries as well, but it's not necessarily a question where we want to receive an answer, where we want to have that conversation. It's more like a habit of, "Hey, how you going?" And then we're getting on with what we are there to do. So sometimes when someone actually gives you a proper answer of how they are doing, we may not be, focused on that. We may not even have that in our mindset to actually stop and listen to that person. Because it's such a Australian way to just kickstart something. "How are you?" "Yeah, okay, fine, great." And then you focus on what you're there to do. But to now actually stop and ask that question with sincerity, ask that question with care for that person. "How are you?" It's not like, "Oh, how are you?" "Yeah, okay." No, "How are you? Are you okay? Are you really okay?" You're saying that you're fine. You're saying it's all good, but are you really? And that is something that, can really strike up a really great conversation. You have a connection with that person. And yeah, exactly. In Australia, it's a greeting, not even a question, right? So it's, something that we do. And I'm certainly guilty of that too. I think we all are, right? To just ask that and not even notice what the answer is, really. But it's sort of got me thinking in particular today, and in particular after my last few weeks that have been extremely challenging, and I have been experiencing a lot of, moments where it wasn't going so well for me, where I felt like I was going on a downward slide rather than upwards and forwards. I felt like I was going backwards and downwards. And that was a situation that was extremely challenging, emotional, and not prepared for at all. It came from left field. But now that I'm going through that and going through the motions, I've also noticed that I do have a beautiful community around me of people that are truly wanting to know how I am, how I'm going, and receiving the phone calls of, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a while. What's going on? Are you okay?" Or "Yeah, I saw you online today, but it didn't look like you were doing so well." And having those conversations and knowing that there is support out there, right? That's really, it was so heartwarming for me to know that, and to have those people reach out to me and say, "Hey, it looks like you're not doing so well. What's going on? Are you, open to a conversation?" And that makes you feel good. It makes you feel supported and cared for and loved, and in particular, a lot of us, we always give to a lot of people. We always are there to care for others. And for most of us, it's also because we may have been raised with the idea from our parents that we can't be selfish. We need to look after other people. That we often don't take the time for ourselves to actually sit and go, "How am I actually doing? Do I need some help? Who can I reach out to today? Who can I talk to? Who has that listening ear for me?" Right? And so it is heartwarming to know that so many people are out there for us. They are very quiet, and they don't often approach us if they see that, you might not be doing so well. Because some people find it a little bit scary to approach someone that may not be doing so well, because how can you support them, right? We may not have learned what we can do. So I thought to actually give you some ideas on what we can do to help someone. And the first one is, listening. It is a big, big part in that conversation for us to actively listen to what that person is saying, to let them have that space of, I just want to blurt everything out that's going on right now. For that person who's talking to you and you are the one listening and receiving all of that, it can be a huge relief to have someone sitting there to truly just listen to them, for them to have that space to just let it all out of what's going on. Because once it's out of the system, it becomes easier to then look at, right? Because we can actually take a step back and you can support that person to allow that step back and go, oh, wow, and acknowledge that what they're going through is something that is, really something that they are going through. To have that acknowledgement, to have that validation that, they are not the only one either. Making someone feel that they are respected and that they are cared for is extremely important. And by listening, you give them that. You give them that care, that love, that nurture, that empathy, But then also to be able to ask some more questions around that. Oh, I heard you saying this. So how does that make you feel? What has happened with that? What was the result for you? And then you can even ask more questions around that. And maybe even ask what out of whatever you told me now is something that we can focus on right now for the next 5 minutes to help you through that a little bit more. And those are some of the things that we can certainly, help with. And we don't have to be an expert in any of that stuff, because you know what? We are all experts in life experience. And sometimes you have someone sitting in front of you who's going through something that you may have also experienced. And then you can talk from your point of view and say, look, I've actually gone through a similar experience myself. So I understand absolutely how you feel. These are some of the strategies and the techniques that I have applied to, there's a little fly here, to actually go through that, right? So you can share that with them as well if they're open to listening to you. And it's also really important to not just give out advice and guidance willy-nilly. Ask permission if you can ask more questions around what they're going through. Ask permission to say, hey, would you be okay with me giving you some tips here? Because I've been through a similar process. Is it okay if I share my story? Because you want to respect their space that they're in that moment as well, because they are in such turmoil. And things are going on so much in their head that whatever you may give them could be another icing on the cake and another icing on the cake, something else to think about that can cause more anxiety and stress for them. So always ask that permission too. Is it okay if we talk about this? Is it okay if I share my story? How would you like me to help you? Is a really great question. How would you like me to help you? What can I do for you right now? What would you like help with? Do you just want to talk? Would you like me to give you some suggestions? Can I refer you to someone? So those are a couple of the really easy, simple ways that we can help people. And that can be simply picking up the phone. If you're thinking about today, for example, are you okay day? Who can I help? And the name pops in, give them a call, because that name doesn't just come up randomly. Right? It comes up for a reason that, yes, you do need to connect with that person. I had that last week with a friend of mine. She was thinking about certain things, and also my name popped in during the day a couple of times. And at nighttime, I sent her a message and she was like, okay, well, that's it. I know I really need to contact Bianca because she's been on my mind. And now she sent me a message. We have to talk. So those things are not a coincidence. This is part of our whole energy and of us all being connected, so that when you do have someone pop into your mind, trust that. Send them a text message, give them a call. That's even better. Have that personal conversation with them over the phone. If they're open to it, hop on. I know we're very much, fatigued with video calling these days, But, if they're open to that on WhatsApp or Facebook or Telegram, we can now all have these beautiful systems available to us that we are not limited by how we can communicate. And it is really important to do that. And I think also, not only in challenging times like, we are going through in Australia and other countries where, also they're still faced with enormous amounts of cases in terms of the pandemic. But it's certainly important on an everyday basis. Maybe even think every day, who can I call today just to have a chat with? Because even that, picking up the phone, having that conversation with someone, it can light up their day. That could be the one thing for them that day that puts a massive smile on their face. They've got someone calling them that really cares for them, that wants to know how they're going, checking in, right? And that, I just wanted to sort of talk about that and share that, because it's not just this one day, it's every single day, right? And that's the same for our animals too. Our animals are very important to us. Are they okay? How are they going? Yeah, so every day with my Raphael as well, it's like, how are you doing today? How are you feeling? Are you okay? And he gives me the feedback, If he's not too well or he just wants to have an off day, he just stays there laying down with his face down and he goes, oh, I'm just comfortable laying here and that's it. But if he's truly okay, he will just sit, he will listen, he perks up, he moves his head like this, and then he wants to play. So that's his answer to, yeah, I'm really great. Let's do something together. Let's play. So you can really gauge with your animals as well how they are feeling, what is going on for them. And, and that's also an everyday conversation with them. So we can't forget about our animals either on Are You Okay Day. And talking about our animals, next month, every 4th of October, there is International Animal Day, where there is specific focus on our animals. And I will probably have a similar conversation like today. It's not just the 4th of October. Every single day is a care day for our animals. Every single day it's checking in with them as well. How are they going? What would they like to do? Simple things for my dog, Raphael, I go, where would you like to walk today? Do you want to go to the nature park? Do you want to go to the river? Do you want to go down the other track across the road? What would you like to do today? And when I walk out the door and he's on the lead and we go for a walk around the block, which direction do you want to go? And I just follow him, because it's as much his walk as it is my walk, right? So we both need to have fun in that. Mental health is a major focus point for all of us, every single individual, every single day. It is, sometimes it can be seen as a bit of an area where it's uncomfortable because we don't necessarily know what we're talking about. We don't necessarily know how to help people that are going through that. But like I said, that simple question, it has a lot of weighting and it can mean the world to even the one person that you talk to on that day. It's just such an enormous help for other people to just reach out. And for our animals too. Our animals can suffer from, anxiety, stress, down days, depression, and they will pick that up from us as well. But sometimes they have their own things that they may have experienced, I've certainly seen that in animals that have been adopted. They may have had trauma before they came into, the animal shelter and before they were adopted into our homes, where we can certainly care for them. We do need to also look at what they are experiencing, how they are behaving, what is going on for them. Have they got a whole day where they're just being suki lala and not eating? That's an indication that something might be off track for them. So we tune into them as well. What's going on? What's happening? Are you okay? Do you want to go for a walk? If they do, they're probably at the front door straight away. If they don't, they might not move a muscle, right? And that's okay too. We don't want to go for a walk every single day, perhaps. Maybe we want a day where we just want to be lazy and just chill and just relax and just be on the lounge and, watch Netflix all day. So there's a lot in this. And, I'm probably only covering the surface of Are You Okay? and supporting other people, because there are so many different layers that we can support each other with. And also, it's really important to have a network around you, because if you do have someone that needs more help that goes beyond your experience and or expertise, then you have the ability to refer them on to other people as well. And that's very powerful too, because people who are going through these massive shifts and changes and periods of that anxiety and stress and depression and feeling depleted and low energy and whatnot, they may not know how to find the right person that they may be able to talk to or work with. So when we have our own networks around us, it is so important to utilize that and refer them on, most likely to people that you've worked with before, because that's always the easiest to refer to. But certainly, expand that network for yourself, but then again, also for other people, which is really important. In saying all of that, I am here for you. As I said earlier, I've got 2 beautiful ears. I can listen extremely well. So if there is anything that you want to share with me, if you are stuck in something or you just want a listening ear and you don't know who to turn to, I'm here. I'm only a phone call or a message away, and I'm more than happy to just spend some time with you and just listen to you. And if you do want some help or guidance, ask, and I will certainly ask how I can help you in the best way possible. So I'm wishing you all an extremely wonderful day. Enjoy. If you can, go out, even for 5 minutes, go outside, enjoy the sunshine. If you have sunshine around you, even if it rains, it can help cleanse things out, clear things away for you. Go out into the rain. Who cares if you get wet? It doesn't matter. It can be a lot of fun. And while you're at it, go and hug a tree. Trees are enormously well equipped to heal us and to even release emotions and to bring in the things that we do want to bring in. So start enjoying that as well. So all I can say is stay connected with love and grace, and I will see you soon, very soon. Bye for now.